Fiorentini from Victorian Architects presenting the Queenscliff Ferry Terminal. We're located in Wadawurrung Country. The ferry service links Queenscliff and Sorrento. The project is really the result of a master plan and a 10-year collaboration between architect and client. The existing facilities were very downgraded, as you can see, certainly not able to cope with 10,000 passenger a day peak. Besides a bit of maritime gateway to Queenscliff, shared with the nearby historic lifeboat shed of 1923, a much more significant building than the previous terminal. The passage between Queenscliff and Sorrento has a long history, and the project really starts here. Between 1,000 and 2,000 years ago, the Wadawurrung and Wurrung people were able to traverse this passage on foot because Port Phillip Bay virtually dried up. Fortunately, today the site terminates a distinctive landform with remaining tracts quite large of native coastal vegetation, and the site itself transitions very much man-made marine infrastructure with remaining parts of natural environment and coastal character, and very much private realm, public realm. So the underlying concepts started to grow very early on this were a project generated by place, journey and passage. The master plan methodology really placed the project requirements in a much broader local context and ecological context. Operation is central to the ferry service, so this diagram really shows the changes in the operation. Ticketing, a reclaimed wharf for vehicles, forecourt and entry, and a new passenger gantry which would allow people, foot passengers on at level 1 while the cars are going at the same time, so it doubles effectively the ferry capacity. The public realm agenda, we really brought to the project as part of the master plan because we were originally commissioned just for a building. And that's extensive. The main element being a new boardwalk which goes through the building, built over an existing water break, terminates in a lookout with commissioned artwork and historical interpretation, revegetation to the west side, and the linking of existing walking paths and a public beach access point incorporated into the design, vegetation of the car park to reduce the heat sink, meeting place with bicycle parking and bus drop-off area, so it's got public transport link as well now. All that came together in the site plan, so the key elements pointed out were the reclaimed wharf, but mainly the new boardwalk to the south with a seating area for the public at the western end, forecourt with bicycle parking entry to the building, passenger gantry, and the revegetation to the south of the dunes as well. Quickly through the plan, public forecourt, entry into information and ticketing, public cafe running alongside with the boardwalk, massive kitchen because it serves both all the facilities including food on the ferry, a smaller cafe serving the vehicle passengers. Level 1, mainly passenger service, vertical transport, lounge, arrival departure, gantry and the boardwalk below, and some individual lounges for tourist groups, etc., and a deck facing back to the forecourt. The built form response, the other diagram, the plan response captures their planning objectives with simple linear arrangement anchored by arrival and departure spaces and obviously the boardwalk. The built form response down below, it's an overarching roof form, a single expression of shelter tailored to each orientation, frames arrival and departure, public spaces and paths, views and local rituals, provides shelter from the harsh maritime conditions and climate, and it references the local landform, character and historic boat shed, elevations. Conceals the rooftop plant equipment, screens the passenger gantry, and obviously frames those passenger gantry here and frames the forecourt. It's a very efficient, cost-effective structure, central to the response. And the arch structure enables us to really do some large spans fairly economically. That's a photo there of a couple of thousand man-hours of shop drawing checking. Realisation. Northern aspect with the forecourt and reclaimed wharf bus stop. Whilst that is the business end, this is more the public end. Much longer facade to give more weather protection, encapsulates the boardwalk, revegetated coastal edge and the dunes since. No artwork on that one yet. It's a concealed roof. Eastern end is much more ferry, gantry and boardwalk. And in context, really I guess showing the relationship to the natural landform and to the historic boat shed over in the distance, and that divide between man-made intervention and natural.
2 minutes.
Okay. Breeze you through, entry, overarching roof over boardwalk, entry foyer, cafe, ground floor, passenger lounge, level 1. The framed views out, the departure and arrival lounge and separation of passengers, and the gantry and the framing, both the gantry and the boardwalk, is two equally important items. Sustainability is a real feature of the project with 4 main focus points: protection of land and ecological systems, siting and urban design, energy efficiency and consumption, and selection of building materials and process. And clearly we have a big team to help us do those intensively. Materials and cladding we'll just touch on, mainly concrete, stainless steel and glass. Simple systems, so a lot of prototyping and detailing to really get the best out of them and ensure they're up to the performance and longevity. Cost value is measured at 3 levels. At a state level, it's a central cog to the tourist trail between 12 Apostles and Wilson's Promontory and the Penguins. So 10,000 people a day and almost 1 million passengers. It's a big contributor to the Victorian economy. At a local level, it's a local landmark and facility. It's the biggest employer in Queenscliff, and it provides a lot of business to support that region. To Searoad ferries, 16.5 million budget, covered the ferry building, infrastructure, gantry, boardwalk, public realm initiatives and revegetation. So it really punches above its weight from a cost value point of view. Long team of consultants, particular emphasis on, I guess, cladding and the terrestrial and maritime ecology issues, but they all pulled together over 10 years. Not quite as much fun as the Catalans. Conclusion, central concepts are guided by place and celebration of journey and passage. The design engages site ecology, context, and the opportunities of the site. Marries these with a complex functional program. The result is specific to the unique place and setting.